regret, sorrow, and hard-earned lessons. These are the emotions I felt after researching and exploring the lives of over 100 Black celebrities who became entangled in tragic downfalls. Hello everyone, since we are our memory vault. And this is the video 19 Black R&B legends who were the worst drug addicts as of 2026. This topic deeply affects how we perceive the glitz and glamour of the stage, and it might just shock you. This video is suitable for watching while relaxing, having a family meal, or doing household chores. All information in this video is researched and collected from various sources. If there are any inaccuracies, please leave a comment below to help the channel continue to improve. Please follow the channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications to receive the earliest updates. Now, let's dive right into the first artists. James Brown. When we mention James Brown, we're not just mentioning a name, but an entire era of music. He was the godfather of soul, the man who defined a mesmerizing funk rhythm that made the whole world dance. With hits like I Got You, I Feel Good, James Brown didn't just bring joy. He was a symbol of tireless effort, a source of vibrant energy on stage that anyone would crave to witness at least once. However, behind those dazzling stage lights, James Brown was a lonely man, always striving to maintain a level of perfection that was extreme. The immense public expectations and the pressure to always remain at the #1 spot pushed him onto a path of dependency. In the 80s, when people saw him on stage, few knew that his body was enduring the horrific devastation of stimulants. Drugs weren't just a means for him to keep the fire burning, but gradually became a monster, consuming his rationality. Psychological changes, uncontrollable outbursts, and legal troubles gradually dragged this emperor of music off his throne, turning a legend into the focal point of controversy and pity from his fans. From the perspective of our memory vault, James Brown's story is a sad testament to how fame can sometimes be a double-edged sword. We often look at the achievements and forget the price of loneliness after the velvet curtain falls. He didn't just fight external enemies. He fought the ghosts within his own soul with no way out. It is a lesson about balance. No matter how great a genius you may be, if you don't learn how to face pressure with tranquility, you can easily lose your way. We cherish his musical legacy, but we also need to understand that behind every monument is a human being of flesh and blood, yearning to be understood more than to be praised. Ray Charles. Ray Charles was not just an artist. He was the definition of rising above adversity. Although his eyes could not see the light from a young age, his soul could feel the colors of music more deeply than anyone else. He blended jazz, blues, and gospel to create masterpieces that touched hearts such as Georgia on My Mind. Ray Charles was a model of perseverance, proving that physical limitations could not prevent a talent from reaching the pinnacle. However, behind those ever-present dark glasses was a battle that lasted nearly 2 decades against heroin. The pain of losing his sight, the burden of a childhood of poverty, and the early loss of loved ones became psychological scars that Ray Charles could not heal. He turned to drugs as a way to escape painful memories and seek temporary relief. During those 17 years of immersion, this poison controlled the schedule of a genius, nearly burying the career he had painstakingly built. In those days, his creativity was weighed down by dependency, making it seem as though this great artist had lost his connection to the very sounds he created. What makes Ray Charles's story different and worth honoring is his ability to save himself. Unlike many of his contemporaries who were drowned by tragedy, he made a life-changing decision in 1965. The courage to leave drugs behind to return to himself was Ray's greatest victory. Our memory vault believes that this is not just a story about addiction, but a journey to rediscover the self. He taught us, no matter where you fall, you have the right to stand up again. Ray Charles proved that the greatest legacy is not just the songs, but the journey through the darkness to find the light of truth. These pieces of memory don't end here. Behind the radiance of the following legends are haunting secrets you may have never heard before. Join us as we continue the journey to decode the somber notes in their lives. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye's voice was like a stream of sweet honey flowing into the listener's soul, gentle yet full of strength. With timeless works like What's Going On or Sexual Healing, he used music to heal and raise questions about the painful issues of society. Marvin was a sensitive soul, an artist who always sought peace in a world full of turbulence. However, that very sensitivity became the source of profound pain. Pressure from the music industry, cracks in his marriage, and loneliness at the peak of his career pushed Marvin into a spiral of addiction. Marvin Gaye's life was a sequence of contrasting colors. On one hand, he was an inspiration to millions. On the other, he was someone who could not inspire himself. Using drugs as a pain-numbing agent caused his health and spirit to decline seriously. Fans began to see erratic performances with the exhaustion clearly visible in a voice once considered perfect. The heartbreaking incident where he passed away during an argument with his own father remains a lasting wound for music lovers around the world, a sad ending for a talent who was all too sensitive. Reflecting on Marvin's life, our memory vault cannot help but ponder the concept of sensitivity. In this world, those who see the world most clearly are sometimes the most vulnerable. Drugs did not kill his talent, but they dulled the clarity needed to protect himself from family storms. Marvin's story is a gentle reminder about protecting the mental health of those around us. Sometimes, sincere listening and a hand of understanding can be worth more than all the praise given to a superstar carrying the world on their shoulders. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. The name synonymous with the title, The Voice. She was not just a singer, she was a global phenomenon, someone who could turn soaring high notes into hope for anyone who heard them. From I Will Always Love You to a series of other hits, Whitney redefined the class of a diva. However, that very peak became a glass cage where she had to bear the expectations of her family, the music industry, and her own fans. The crushing pressure combined with wrong choices in love led Whitney down a path with no exit. Whitney's struggle with drugs was not just a personal matter, it was a tragedy for a whole generation of fans who witnessed their idol gradually fade away. During the days she sank into dependency, the voice that was once humanity's pride began to grow hoarse, and her self-confidence slowly vanished. The woman dubbed Perfect, the princess of the music industry, had to endure storms that no one could help her overcome. Her sudden passing in a hotel bathtub was not just the loss of a legend, but a heartbreaking lesson about the price of fame. For our memory vault, Whitney's passing remains an aching pain. She was a symbol of sacrifice where talent was inversely proportional to personal peace. We often love those who bring us joy, while forgetting that they too need to be loved like ordinary people. Whitney's story reminds us never to idolize someone to the point of ignoring their silent cries for help. Let us cherish her musical legacy, but also learn to view artists as human beings with all their pain, weaknesses, and desires for peace in their souls. Etta James. Etta James possessed a powerful voice, a beauty that was rugged yet incredibly emotional. When she sang, at last, the whole world seemed to stop to listen. But few know that behind the strong exterior and a voice that screamed for liberation, Etta had to battle a demon called heroin from a very young age. A childhood lacking love, combined with the harshness of the entertainment industry at the time, led her to drugs as her only support. The struggle lasting for decades made her career as turbulent as a sad blues tune. This degradation did not just wear down Etta's gifted voice, it made her personal life chaotic. There were times when she seemed unable to rise again before the legal sentences, the stints in rehabilitation centers, and the neglect of the media. But the miracle of Etta was the resilience of a woman who had walked through hell. She returned stronger and full of experience. Although her health later declined seriously due to years of using stimulants, Etta continued to sing until her final breath, leaving behind an enduring musical legacy. We at our Memory Vault deeply admire Etta James's willpower. She is proof that it is never too late to start over, provided you are brave enough to face your past. Etta's life was a long blues song with deep lows and high notes, with extreme suffering, but also full of hope. She did not try to hide her scars. She used those very scars to sing about life, To the audience, Etta was not just a musical legend, but a warrior. She taught us that life can take away your health and youth, but it can never take away the song from your soul if you are determined to hold on to it. Do you see yourself in these stories? Join us as we continue to delve deeper into the journeys of the next individuals, where each name is a valuable lesson about awareness and human fortitude. Rick James. Rick James was not just a musician. He was the embodiment of explosion, the king of funk with signature braided hair and an attitude of absolute confidence. Hits like Super Freak redefined music in the 80s, making millions unable to sit still. Rick brought a wild, unconventional energy, as if he were born to stand under the stage lights. He turned funk into a religion where personal liberation and catchy melodies were paramount, creating undeniable legacies in the music industry. However, the pinnacle of fame was also where Rick James began to lose control over himself. The pressure to maintain the image of a rebellious star, combined with a lifestyle of limitless indulgence, dragged him into a spiral of dependency. When fame became an addiction, stimulants gradually replaced artistic inspiration. Rick began to isolate himself in a private world of illusions, where the line between a creative artist and someone gradually exhausted became fragile. The glorious days gradually receded, replaced by strings of days facing exhausted health and loneliness. From the perspective of our memory vault, Rick James's story is a valuable lesson about the price of excessive freedom. When a strong personality lacks the anchor of discipline, it is very easy for it to self-destruct. Rick burned brightly with music, but regrettably, he also burned out all his vitality within. His story reminds us that while individuality is precious, maintaining sobriety amidst illusory auras is what determines the sustainable value of a life. Sly Stone. Sly Stone was a true genius who pioneered bringing spiritual sounds and psychedelic music into funk. With the group Sly and the Family Stone, he blurred racial lines, creating music full of messages like everyday people. Sly was not just an artist, he was a musical philosopher, always seeking to connect everyone through melody. In the 60s and 70s, he stood in a position that every artist dreamed of, a leader of thought and a symbol of innovation in American music. Sly Stone's downfall was a long, silent, and haunting journey. When his faith in the surrounding world wavered, he chose to withdraw into seclusion. The pressures of expectations, the fear of betrayal, and psychological trauma pushed him down the path of stimulants. Instead of facing it, he chose to leave the stage, leave the light, and hide in narrow, private spaces, leaving behind a massive legacy that was gradually being forgotten. People no longer saw a brilliant genius, but only a human trying to survive in loneliness. Our memory vault views Sly Stone as a testament to the fragility of great minds. Sometimes it is the very extreme sensitivity to the world that makes it impossible for them to endure the harsh reality. His disappearance was a great loss for the music scene. Sly Stone's story helps us understand that even the most intelligent and creative people need empathy and sincere companions. Do not let a genius be alone in the fight against their own darkness, because that is the most terrifying place for anyone. Wilson Pickett. Wilson Pickett was the voice of ruggedness who brought the soul of soul music to the public with a powerful voice and in the midnight hour. He was a warrior on stage. Every note he sang was full of enthusiasm and determination. Pickett was not just an artist. He was the voice of raw emotions, the pain and aspirations of the working class. His music was steeped in blues, a genre that requires deep experience to touch the listener's heart. However, Wilson Pickett's career was also full of obstacles when the times changed. When his genre no longer held a dominant position, the pressure to maintain his career weighed heavily on his shoulders. Disappointment, the fear of being forgotten, and bad habits gradually invaded Pickett's mind. He turned to stimulants as a way to maintain excitement on stage, but gradually, it became a burden that caused his health to collapse. The image of a legend full of vitality gradually became blurred, leaving regrets for loyal fans. With our memory vault, Wilson Pickett's story reminds us of the harshness of time for artists. Fame is never permanent, and accepting change is an important life skill. Pickett tried his best to keep the fire alive, but the method he chose unintentionally harmed himself. His story is a gentle reminder to us all. Never let the achievements of the past become the shackles of the present. Cherish what you have contributed, but also learn to let go to live in peace. Natalie Cole. Natalie Cole carried within her the legacy of a legend. Her father was the great Nat King Cole. She entered music with the pressure to prove her own talent, not to be a shadow of her father. With This Will Be, Natalie affirmed the position of an independent star, a charming and highly technical vocalist. She was the embodiment of elegance and sophistication in R&B and jazz. Natalie was not just a singer. She was a symbol of effort, always seeking to define herself amidst the huge expectations from the public. Despite a brilliant start, Natalie Cole had to face silent internal battles. The pressure of the Cole name, along with wrong personal choices, pushed her into a spiral of stimulants. She once admitted that drugs almost destroyed every achievement she had painstakingly built. Her battle was not just against addiction, but a journey to rediscover her self-worth. After months submerged in darkness, she made a spectacular comeback, becoming an inspiration for those who want to rebuild their lives. Our Memory Vault believes that Natalie Cole's story is one of the most inspiring journeys. She proved that even if you have gone astray, with enough courage and willpower, you can completely write a new chapter for your life. Natalie did not hide from the past. She faced it and used her own lessons to help others. This is a lesson about recovery. Failure is not the end. It is a necessary stepping stone for us to become stronger and more mature after the storms of life. David Ruffin. David Ruffin was an indispensable face of the group The Temptations, possessing a mesmerizing voice in the hit My Girl. With an elegant appearance and a soulful voice, David conquered the hearts of millions of Motown music lovers. He was not just the lead singer, he was the soul of the group, the one who brought perfection to every melody. For those who loved music in that era, David Ruffin was a symbol of glamour success and a golden age where music reigned supreme. But behind that glamour was a soul full of insecurity and perfectionism to an extreme degree. David Ruffin could not maintain the balance between fame and personal life. The disappointment when leaving the group and the obstacles in his solo career led him to stimulants to drown out the sadness. He gradually fell into a state of loneliness, lost his direction, and finally into the oblivion of the entertainment industry. David's passing in solitude remains one of the most heartbreaking, somber notes in soul music history. Our Memory Vault views David Ruffin as a typical example of the fragility of fame. He once had everything but lacked a solid anchor in life to overcome moments of storm. His story reminds us of the value of human connection. Sometimes the brightest aura is also when we feel the loneliest. We remember David Ruffin not just for the timeless songs, but because it is a lesson about the need to cherish oneself more than any title. Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway was dubbed one of the most talented artists of the 20th century, a true musical genius with the ability to play the piano masterfully and one of the most emotional voices. Timeless love songs like A Song for You or Where Is. The love touched the deepest layers of the listener's soul, where sincerity is paramount. For the generation over 45, Donny was not just a singer, he was a storyteller through music who always sought to understand human pain through mesmerizing soul melodies. However, behind that sophistication was an unequal battle with mental illness and the ghosts in his mind. Donny had to face schizophrenia, a disease that made him always feel insecure and isolated, even when standing at the peak of his career. Instead of finding proper support, he tried to use stimulants to soothe the voices echoing in his head. Dependency on medication not only slowed down his genius reflexes, but gradually stole away the sanity he needed to face reality. His passing was an immense loss for the music industry. From the perspective of Our Memory Vault, Donny Hathaway is a symbol of the fragility of sensitive souls. He gave the best of what he had to music, but forgot how to love himself. We mourn him not just for the lost melodies, but because it is a lesson about the importance of mental health. Sometimes a great talent needs more than just praise from the audience. They need understanding from those around them so they do not collapse under the invisible pressures of life. Frankie Lymon. Frankie Lymon is proof of the price of fame too early. Becoming an idol for millions of teenagers in the 50s with the hit Why Do Fools Fall in Love, the boy who possessed a soaring voice and a confident performance style created an unimaginable fever. Frankie was not just a star, he was a cultural phenomenon, opening the way for the next generation of young artists. However, behind the flashy exterior on stage was a child lacking guidance from family, caught in the cruel gears of the entertainment industry. When the aura gradually faded with maturity, Frankie could not find a new place for himself. The emptiness of no longer being a child star, along with invisible pressures, pushed him down the path of stimulants. He turned to heroin as a way to fill the void in his soul, to escape a reality that no longer had cheers. The years drifting in dependency stole his gifted voice, devastated his health, and finally, the life of a talent who could have shown much longer. This is a sad chapter in music history about the lack of direction for young idols. Our Memory Vault views Frankie Lymon's story as a warning for parents and managers in the entertainment industry. Fame is never a safe shield for a child. If not placed in a healthy, nurturing environment, the aura will soon become an abyss. We remember Frankie Lymon as a high note cut short halfway. The lesson here is not just about the harms of drugs, but about the responsibility of protecting the innocence and future of young people before they have to face the harsh world. Ike Turner. Ike Turner was a contradictory character in music history. He was a pioneer, the man who contributed to the birth of rock and roll with the song Rocket 88. No one can deny his artistic vision and excellent ability to lead a band. Ike was someone who always craved perfection, control, and recognition. He once stood at the pinnacle, creating musical legacies that endured through time. However, the line between a creative artist and someone with an extreme tendency for control was blurred by a scandalous lifestyle. Ike Turner's career was overshadowed by private troubles and dependency on stimulants. Drugs changed his personality, pushing him into uncontrollable outbursts and cruel behaviors toward those around him, especially in his relationship with Tina Turner. For Ike, drugs were not just a way to have fun, they became a tool to maintain excitement in work. His downfall did not just hurt those close to him. It permanently destroyed the image of a legend in the public eye, leaving behind a haunting legacy. From our Memory Vault's perspective, Ike Turner's story is a valuable lesson about the importance of character for an artist. Talent can take you to the peak, but only morality and kindness keep you there. Ike could not overcome the demons within himself, and the consequence was that he had to pay with the public's respect. We analyze his life not to judge, but to see that no matter how great a pioneer you are, if you do not master your ego and control your instincts, you will forever be just a lonely person at the peak of glory. Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown was once the king of New Jack Swing in the late 80s. With the album Don't Be Cruel and Powerful Dance Steps, he redefined the R&B style for a young, energetic generation. Bobby brought confidence, boldness, and a street style to the big stage. For audiences of that time, Bobby Brown was the embodiment of success, a man who had it all: talent, money, and admiration from the public. He was a model that so many young men craved to become. However, Bobby Brown's life was a sequence of dramatic ups and downs in which drugs played a destructive role. The pressure of fame, the turbulent marriage to Whitney Houston, and bad habits made his career unstable. Drugs eroded his creativity, distorting the image of a star once likened to a performance machine. Fans no longer saw a Bobby Brown full of enthusiasm, but instead, a human struggling in the spiral of legal troubles and declining health. Reflecting on Bobby Brown's journey, our Memory Vault finds it a lesson about self-discipline. Fame is an extremely toxic environment if you do not have a solid anchor. Bobby once had the opportunity to become an eternal legend, but wrong choices caused him to spend decades finding himself again. We cherish Bobby's musical contributions, but cannot deny that his story is a mirror reflecting the devastation of a decadent lifestyle. It is a reminder that even when you are at the peak, a downfall is always lurking if you lose your sobriety. Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, the queen of funk, possessed a powerful voice that could pierce any heart. With hits like I Feel For You or Through the Fire, she conquered the audience with her strength and intense passion. Chaka was not just an artist, she was a symbol of feminism, a woman who was not afraid to express her own personality through music. For audiences over 45, Chaka Khan's voice is an indispensable part of memories of emotional soul music nights. She was the one who maintained her position through decades of change. But behind the radiant exterior, and a voice that seemed to contain the entire ocean of emotions, Chaka also had times submerged in darkness. The pressure of the music industry, coupled with personal pain, led her to turn to stimulants to cover up the emptiness. However, what made Chaka Khan different was the spirit of a warrior. She bravely faced dependency, went through arduous rehabilitation processes, and finally found herself again. Her return was not just the victory of an artist, but the victory of a brave woman. Our memory vault deeply respects Chaka Khan's resilience. She is vivid proof that no matter how much darkness covers you, the light is always at the end of the tunnel if we are determined enough. Chaka used her own life to inspire millions. Mistakes do not define who you are. How you stand up after a mistake is what matters. Chaka Khan's legacy lies not just in prestigious Grammy Awards, but in her proud journey from someone who fell into a trap to a symbol of resurrection and hope. Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige is fondly called by the public the Queen of Hip-Hop Soul. With her groundbreaking debut album in 1992, she brought a new breeze where sincerity, pain, and faith blended together through a powerful voice. For the generation over 45, Mary is not just a star, she is a soulmate, someone who voiced the inner feelings of so many women through songs like Real Love or Be Without You. The strength in Mary's voice always comes with profound vulnerability within creating an irresistible attraction that few artists have. However, behind that resounding success, Mary had to fight the ghosts of the past, the scars of childhood poverty and violence that led her to alcohol and stimulants as an escape. For many years, she had to struggle to find balance between the stage lights and the abyss of loneliness. Drugs did not just affect her health, but blurred her inherent creativity. However, with extraordinary willpower, Mary chose to face the truth, abandoned the toxic lifestyle, and became a symbol of resurrection, a woman who healed herself. From the perspective of our memory vault, Mary J. Blige's story is the clearest proof that it is never too late to find your own worth. She is not just a singer, she is a survivor. The way she turned pain into art, turning bad experiences into strength, became a valuable lesson for many people. We do not just honor the hits, we cherish the iron willpower of a woman who went through storms to find peace, a testament that true strength lies in the ability to stand up from the greatest falls. Lisa Left Eye Lopes. Lisa Left Eye Lopes was one of the most important members of the legendary group TLC. With a strong personality, boundless creativity, and fashion style leading the trends, Lisa became an idol for millions of young people in the 90s. She was not just a rapper, she was an inspiration for independence and the self-confidence of women. Mentioning Lisa, people remember the energetic girl always full of bold ideas and a radiant smile who contributed to making TLC the most successful girl group of all time. Lisa's life was a journey of seeking freedom, but unfortunately, it was covered by internal instability and wrong choices. The pressure of fame, conflicts in personal relationships, and loneliness in the crowd pushed her into the spiral of stimulants and an uncontrolled lifestyle. Consecutive incidents, including heartbreaking legal events, caused her to gradually lose direction. The trip to Honduras, with the desire to find peace in her soul, became the final trip when a traffic accident stole her life at such a young age. For our memory vault, Lisa Left Eye Lopes' passing is one of the saddest notes in contemporary music. She represented potential cut short, a talent at the peak being pulled down by the very shadows of her soul. We remember Lisa not just for the timeless songs, but because her story is a reminder that behind the rebellious and confident exterior are always desires to be loved and understood. Her life is a painful lesson about protecting sensitive souls before it is too late. Elle DeBarge. Elle DeBarge was the golden voice of the 80s who possessed a smooth emotional falsetto so high it left listeners breathless. With music like Rhythm of the Night, he took his name to the level of an international star. For audiences over 45, Elle DeBarge is the definition of romance, an artist capable of turning every note into a whisper of love. His talent is rare, a gift from heaven that not everyone is lucky enough to have throughout the history of soul and R&B music. However, Elle DeBarge's career was a long journey of decline due to the impact of drugs. After the group DeBarge disbanded, he could not stand firm against the pressure of expectations and loneliness. Drugs became an unwanted companion step by step, devastating his gifted voice and overshadowing his glorious career. The years drifting in dependency turned a music symbol into a wanderer, losing everything from money to honor. It is a heartbreaking image about the destruction of bad habits on the talents expected the most. From our memory vault's perspective, Elle DeBarge's story is a serious wake-up call about the fragility of fame. Talent, no matter how great, needs to be protected by a healthy lifestyle and sincere support from those around. Elle DeBarge had to pay a heavy price for his mistakes, but his constant effort to seek opportunities to return to music is the bright spot of someone who never truly gave up on passion. His story reminds us of the value of forgiveness and second chances in every human life. Casey Haley. Casey Haley, the lead singer of the group Jodeci, was a symbol of powerful and sensual R&B music in the 90s. With a powerful voice with a characteristic slight rasp, Casey created an unmistakable mark in love songs like All My Life. For the generation of R&B listeners, Casey is the image of passion, who always burned completely whenever stepping onto the stage. He possessed an amazing ability to convey emotions, making every lyric become real and haunting. However, the peak of fame was also when Casey began to drown in stimulants, especially alcohol and drugs. During those years, the audience had to witness more than once sad moments on stage when the image of a legend was gradually obscured by lack of control and fatigue. This lifestyle not only caused his career to fall into a dead end, but also seriously damaged his health. It took many years through times of falling and standing up for Casey to gradually regain balance, even though the most glorious years had become a distant memory. Our Memory Vault views Casey Haley's story as a lesson about perseverance. His career is not a straight line, but a journey full of twists and turns where he had to learn how to face himself. Although the falls took away many things, the perseverance to survive helped him become a deeper person. He is proof that even if you have lost yourself, as long as you still have breath, still have will, you can still find respect and self-worth, no matter how arduous that journey may be. So we have traveled together through the journey of discovering 19 R&B legends, people who once stood at the pinnacle of glory, but also had to face the demons of addiction in their souls. Through this, we see that no matter how radiant fame may be behind it, are still human beings of flesh and blood, always yearning to be understood. These stories are not just lessons about vigilance, but are also humanistic messages about resilience and how we cherish the peaceful life we have today. Hopefully, this video has brought you precious moments of reflection. Wishing you and your family moments that are truly warm, fun, and happy together. If you find this video meaningful, please support our Memory Vault by clicking subscribe, leaving a like, and turning on notifications so you don't miss the next valuable documentary films. Thank you for accompanying us. Goodbye and see you again.